Hey, Shalom, Israel. First off, I just want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Want to send up double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and want to say peace and blessings to the sincere elect that's teaching the word. I just wanted to go into just the importance of just basically making sure we're in the lot of being profitable servants to the Most High and working out your own salvation. As far as that process goes of being out on the highways preaching and teaching. Because the Most High, He uses men in the flesh to carry out His will, man, whether it be for honor or to dishonor. And you've had certain guys, I'm talking about maybe even if they were like heads or leaders of a camp, that the Most High used to teach sincere elect fruit, but they were unprofitable to themselves, and they ended up getting cast out while the men that they taught still remained. So that's just how cold the Most High is. He likes drama. But I just want to exhort brothers in the faith, man, to just always examine yourself to make sure that we're profitable servants and that we're worthy to go out and proclaim and be ambassadors for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. The scripture I wanted to get is in the Apocrypha. It's in the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus, the 37th chapter. I'll start at 19. It says, "There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself." So that's pretty much clear to the point, man. The Most High, through just the nation, through the history of the fruit as of today that's going out and teaching through the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, man. The Most High has set up men that were wise and taught many, and they even taught fruit that actually is still in the faith, proclaiming the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua faithfully. But some of those guys that were doing the teaching, they were unprofitable to themselves because they fell out for whatever reasons. So none of us are exempt from that lot, and we always have to be mindful and humble enough to pray that the Most High strengthens our faith as we go along in this captivity, as it gets worse, as more hell begins to start being put on the men of the Lord. We just got to fight and hope and examine ourselves to make sure that we're profitable servants to the Most High, that we're worthy to be ambassadors to go out and teach and preach His word. So the next script that I wanted to get is something that we get all the time, but I think it's important because we are our own worst enemies, man. Dealing with this fight in the flesh, in this spiritual warfare that we're actually having to fight in the flesh. You're your own worst enemy, man. And before you work up the spirit to try to go and teach someone else, man, you got to make sure your own house or your own abode is in order, because the Most High is looking for judges, who are actually living into the standard that they go out and proclaim to teach and speak on, man. I'm going to go to 2 Corinthians real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, "Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith." And that's something that we constantly have to do. I know it sounds repetitive. Brothers go into this scripture a lot, but it's important because pride makes men self-destructive. When they think that they get on a certain level, them demons will get on you to where you think you're invincible or that you're exempt from the ways and the judgment of the Most High. Just because you may be doing certain things or you teaching a certain way or the Most High put the spirit on you to get a certain level of information to bring it out to teach people, that don't mean that you're profitable just because the Most High is using you to teach others. You have to constantly examine your own self, whether ye be in the faith, man. And also that goes into just basically understanding more and more as we go on and get more experience while we're in this thing in the first place, man. A lot of times them demons will jump on us and we'll just go through just the day-to-day flow, and you can just get so self-contained and just lose sight or lose perspective, so to speak, as to why we're doing what we're doing, man. And that starts, it all starts with you, man. Examining yourself, regulating yourself, making sure you're in order so that you can be found worthy to go out and preach other men. It says, prove your own selves, man. And that's just going into working out your own soul salvation. Of course, we always preach that, a part of the mission is going out, casting the word out to the elect to wake up the fruit that's meet for repentance so the Lord can come back and we can get saved out of here. But, before you can get on that level to go out and do that and be profitable, man, you have to prove your own self, man. It says, I'm going to keep reading in 2 Corinthians 13:5. It says, "Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates." And basically, we always break down that word reprobates. It means to be void of judgment. And the Most High, he's doing a mighty work in the earth right now. Even though it seems that we're just going out with Bibles from week to week, putting up videos, and it seems that it's to no advantage right now, the Most High is actually gearing us up to be spiritual judges in the next rulership to come in the kingdom of heaven, man. So in order to be a righteous judge, which we know through the Spirit, the Most High, he's going to put the law in our inward parts in the kingdom. You still have to go through that process right now in the flesh, man. You know, you have to make sure you're judging your own self first and foremost, according to the rule that you teach other men. You know, that's the only way you're going to be found as a profitable servant. You know, I'm going to just jump to, hold on. There's another one I wanted to get in the book of, I think, Romans. Because we don't want to be hypocrites, man. You know, we don't want to be actors, because that's what that word hypocrite goes back to, it being an actor. We want to make sure that the lane and the zone that the Most High has us operating in, as far as pushing the work and pushing the word, man, we want to make sure we're living according to that standard, man. You know, men shouldn't have anything negative or bad to say as far as us pertaining to doctrine or how we're living our lives according to what we teach, man. You know, there's no excuse. And the only way to be able to make sure that your life is lining up to the doctrine you're teaching, man, you have to constantly examine yourself, man. You have to judge your own self, basically, you know. But I'm going to read Romans 2 and chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "Therefore thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest, for wherein thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself, for thou that judgest doest the same thing." So basically, you know, we go out, we get on the 2/3, we get on the so-called white man, these other nations, we get on the so-called black woman's wickedness. But at the end of the day, man, we have to make sure that our life is lining up according to the standard that we're expecting the people that we curse out to be living according to, man. Or else you're a hypocrite, man. And ultimately, if you continue to operate in that zone, you're going to be found to be an unprofitable servant. Now, that doesn't mean that the Most High within that process couldn't use you if you're if you teach in a certain manner to wake up as his elect men and just cast you out. That's all part of the Most High's will if it happens that way. But I'm praying that myself and, you know, other brothers that's sincere around me that's, you know, striving for the faith, man, we continue to examine ourselves, man, and basically walk according to the rule that we teaching others to live by. It says, this is verse 2, it says, "But we are sure that the judgment of the Most High is according to truth against them which commit such things." Verse 3, it says, "And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things, and doest the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of the Most High?" So that's just going back to guys that think they're somehow exempt from the judgment of the Most High just because you got a Bible in your hand and you go out and get on 2/3, or you condemn the so-called black women, or, you know, you condemn other guys in Israel who are doing wickedness, man. But if you doing some of the same things in your own life, man, you're not examining yourself, man, you're not gonna escape the judgment of the Most High, man. None of us are exempt from the judgment of the Most High. Basically, we have to constantly examine ourselves and make sure we're basically being humble, you know, being humble servants. But I'm gonna jump down. I think around 19. Yeah, it says, this is Romans 2 and 19. It says, "And art confident that thou self art a God of the blind, a light of them which are in darkness." So the Most High, you know, if he allowed you to wake up to this truth and go out and teach others, you know, in a certain sense, you are a guide to those who are blind, or a light to them in darkness, because this world is full of people that are in darkness, especially the nation of Israel. But that just goes to show the Most High, he could use certain people to be that guide to the blind, to wake them up and cast you out, man. So all that work that you did, all that teaching and breaking down certain words and having all the biggest breakdowns, man, if you're not examining yourself and living according to that same rule that you teaching, man, you're going to be found out to be an unprofitable servant, man. It says, this is Romans 2 and 20. It says, "An instructor of the foolish, a teacher of the babes, which has the form of knowledge and of the truth in the law." It says, "Thou therefore which teachest another, teachest thou not thyself? Thou that preachest a man should not steal, dost thou not steal?" Verse 22, it says, "Thou that sayest a man should not commit adultery, dost thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorrest idols, dost thou commit sacrilege?" So this just basically going into being a hypocrite, man. You have to walk it how you talk it, man. You have to basically practice what you preach. And the only way to do that is in all truth and sincerity, man. You have to continually examine yourself, man. You have to be the hardest critic, and you have to scrutinize every move you out here making, man, because life and death is on the line, man. And we have to all work out our own soul salvation. But within that process of getting yourself in order, the Most High is using certain men to wake up his elect so we can be gathered as a body to be ready to receive salvation when Yahweh Shah returns, man. So with that, hopefully, brothers, man, we'll just, we'll examine and watch how we operating out here, man. Just, you got to watch it, what you doing, man, your every move, man, even like, especially that tongue, man, because that tongue, that's a strong member. And brothers, a lot of times, that's how they get themselves cast out, man, just by not controlling their tongue. So you have to examine what you say, what you do, when you do certain things. Just examine your whole overall way of being, man, and just make sure that you're living according to the measure of faith that you proclaim to preach to other men. So with that, I just want to give all praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And with that, I want to say shalom to the sincere Akim.